It is possible for a church to set up a 501c3 to carry out much of the mission that the church is interested in. And it is an organization a charitable organization that carries with it much of the values that we find in the church that sets it up. The CDC is a different type of organization, and it should not be confused with a regular 501c3 charitable organization, because again, it is very much connected to community development. And with community development comes economic development. So Carla mentioned workforce development. It would also include entrepreneurship, and developing businesses in the community, as well as health programs and community service programs as well. So it can become a very, very good vehicle to capture certain dollars, such as government dollars, because again, that is the kind of organization that specifically could capture money from the agency that deals with youth, for the purpose of creating programs to address the youth between the ages of 14 and 24, for example, or to address the issues of training and helping homeless folks be ready for entry into the workforce, et cetera. So it can be a very good vehicle for capturing certain kinds of dollars, whereas a charitable organization would capture money fairly similarly to the way that a church might capture money. But again, without the affiliation of a religious perspective, it is likely to attract many more philanthropic dollars, as Carla mentioned.
So for congregations of faith that are thinking about, is this what I need to, so do all congregations need a 501c3? Is it recommended that for social impact and for being able to capitalize, maximize, leverage asset-based social impact and development, is some form of 501c3 recommended?
I would say in general that I would recommend it. However, the oversight becomes extremely important. The record keeping, there's no fooling around in terms of, making sure that your board minutes are in
People
order.
go to jail.
Yes, exactly right. And that the funds are handled and flow through to the projects for which they were meant. Legitimate salaries should be paid. Services that support the program, et cetera, should legitimately be paid, and so on. Sometimes what happens again is, because there's this overlap, there may be some confusion in terms of commingling of funds and so on. And so the infrastructure has to be carefully laid out. And in fact, I would suggest that the board for a 501c3 really lay out a roadmap for the operations from the board down to the staff, and that there be regular meetings where there's careful review of finances and so on. And because any money that you get in the way of grants, and particularly if you were to get government money, it can be audited, and there can be issues there.
I also have heard that well-rounded boards for 501c3s should be inclusive of professionals that are in the habit of dealing with business. So you might have an attorney as a member, you may have an accountant, you may have a local business person, in addition to congregational representation. You want a board to be well-rounded and to understand the gravity of the organization, the 501c3.
I would absolutely agree with that. The more input, the better. Also, nothing prevents an organization from having an advisory board in addition to a governance board. Again, just to get additional input, additional insights, recommendations, and ideas for the work that the organization does.